Which position group is the strongest for the Georgia Bulldogs in 2023? Which is their best position group? Honestly, it's not even something I thought about last year. I didn't even think about who was their best position group in 2022. 2021, it was that defensive line, no question, right? Or maybe those linebackers. I don't know. You could argue for them as well. This past year, it's hard to argue that it wasn't the quarterback room, right? With Stetson Bennett and Carson Beck getting into play, Heisman Trophy finalist Stetson Bennett. Maybe it was. Maybe that was the case. This year, 2023, I'm going with the linebackers. I feel like I've been preaching about these linebackers for the last few weeks this offseason. I feel like I've spoken a lot about just how I think that they could rival that 21 group that had Nakobe Dean and Quay Walker and Channing Tindall. I have a lot of belief in the talents of Smile Mondon and Jamon Dumas-Johnson, Jalen Walker, those guys. There's freshmen behind them. I wish, sometimes I need to prepare better. That roster is literally in the room next to me. The roster with the signing, the early enrollees. Raylan Wilson's one of those guys, and the other one is that I'm blanking on one of the other guys. But this is a loaded linebacker room. I think from a talent standpoint, Smile Mondon I think is the best linebacker in the country. That's my take, hot take. Do what you want with that. But I think that from an athletic standpoint, he's the freakiest linebacker in college football. Just from what I've seen, I watch a lot of college football, and I'm sure there are guys that I'm forgetting that someone will remind me of. And Jamon Dumas-Johnson is the best linebacker, right? The Butkus Award finalist. Is he the leading tackler? It was him. How close were they? Georgia Bulldogs stats. Him and Jamon Dumas-Johnson and Smile Mondon were the two leading tackles, but I cannot remember what the gap was between them. Smile Mondon, 76 total, 70 total for JDJ. He had the 4 sacks as well. Smile Mondon had that 1 interception. I believe that was in the SEC Championship. Javon Bullard tipped up that weird ball, hit someone in the helmet. That play. Look, these guys are really good. Jalen Walker was a freshman last year. Not a lot of production, right? When you're just talking about 9 tackles. But he's a guy that can play inside and outside, and he's very athletic, and he's someone they're really excited about, and he's someone I'm excited to watch play football. And so I think this room is the best. Ryan Clay from Dog Post. Look, double dogs, dog destruction, all of that is worth getting because you got images. Look, I know it sounds like I'm bragging. I am a little bit, but there aren't books like this with the way that we wrote it, the way the images. There aren't. So check that out down below if you haven't, and I appreciate if you have. Red Zone, DoorDash, all those things that you need are in the description below. Make sure you're hitting the subscribe button if you haven't. I know a lot of you are subscribers for sure. So I think the offensive line, I don't think it'll be better. I mean, it'll be similar, right? Maybe it will be better just because you've got another year of Cedric Van Pran and Tate Rowledge and Xavier Truss. The left tackle spot seems a little bit up for grabs between Ernest Green and Austin Blaski right now. And then the right tackle position, I am assuming, but it very much looks like it's going to be Amarius Mims. And now he started the whole postseason, right, he started the college football playoffs with Warren McClendon being out, right? Broderick Jones, you take a big hit in losing Broderick Jones, one of the most athletic tackles I've ever seen. How many tackles have you seen have a jawline? So offensive line, I think they're about the same, maybe a little worse. Wide receiver room, I actually think improves a little bit. I know losing A.D. Mitchell sucks for a lot of fans, and it sucks for the room, but he didn't really play last year, right? He played in the big moments, which matters a lot. So wide receiver room, I think slightly better. Quarterback room, I can't know. You can't know how good Carson's going to be. You know it's a loaded quarterback room, though. I can't say it's better when you lose Stetson Bennett. You just can't. Secondary, I think, does take a hit because you lose Christopher Smith and you lose Keely Ringo. All that experience, all those big moments, big plays. Defensive line could be better. Losing Jalen Carter sucks, right? Outside linebackers, I'm telling you right now, I think it's their worst position group. Maybe it's their least experienced position group is the way I would put it. But the inside linebackers / Jalen Walker is kind of an inside-outside guy. That's this group. It's their best group. It's not tight ends. Tight ends, ooh, that was a good one, right? Obviously, Brock Bowers is the best tight end in college football, and the tight end room was great. Oscar Delp, Blossom Monkey, Peter Spurlin out for spring for collarbone. Handful of guys out for spring. But I think that the linebackers are the best. I think Smile and JDJ and Jalen, sorry, Kirby and these guys, Mike Bobo wants to know what I'm doing later. So then I think that I just have this weird feeling about Smile Mondon, like he's gonna have some crazy buck this year. There just were so many play, and it's the same case with Jamon James Johnson. So I think they're both really, really, really good. Smile Mondon is more athletic. Jamon James Johnson knows where the ball is. That's what I would say. He knows where the ball is. He is. They are great at getting in the backfield. Smile Mondon didn't get home a few times last year, where it's like, man, you almost had that sack. And there's one. Think about the Ohio State game. Both of them were in C.J. Stroud's face, and one of them got the sack in huge moments. Huge moments. The Ohio State game. It's the biggest game that they've ever played. Right, that they ever played significant snaps in. Those two guys, it's the biggest game they ever played. They didn't play significant snaps against Alabama National Championship, and the TCU game was an absolute beatdown. So this Ohio State game was the game where their most important football was played. It's my take. Deal with it. And if Smile Mondon, he is in C.J. Stroud's face, the play where Javon Bullard gets the hit. If he's not in C.J. Stroud's face, maybe that ball that's probably a touchdown, right? With those two guys, with that connection that they had. Smile Mondon's in his face, he's in his grill. I think he does get a QB hit on him. Last drive of the game, where C.J. Stroud is moving the ball, and they do get the ball down the field, and they're gonna kick that field goal. Well, Jamon James Johnson gets a huge sack, right? I think he had another sack in that game, if I'm not mistaken. He might have. Those two guys are big-time players. And I think they'll both get All-American honors because I think they're both going to have a nuts season. Smile Mondon, he managed those sacks and he played hurt. I mean, some of these guys just played hurt. He had the most solo tackles. I think Jalen Walker, it's going to be very interesting how they use him, especially because I think that this outside linebacker is just, Chaz Chambliss, guy been around, obviously two-time national champion. You lose Nolan Smith and Robert Beal. Marvin Jones Jr. is out for the spring, so these freshmen, and Pemba, Harris, those guys on the edge are going to be really important. So I do think the inside linebacker room is their best group. I also think it is a top 5 position group in the country is the Georgia Bulldog inside linebackers. Ryan Curley, Dog Post, Double Dogs, Dog Instruction, DoorDash, all of it. Red Zone, down below.